Welcome to the Layman Seminary. We're continuing our series on Final Destiny through the Bible, and this is in Final Destiny in Leviticus Part 2. And following the pattern of what I've done in the other Part 2 videos, this is supplementing the original content with word studies done fresh through Logos Bible software, me working through them. Okay, so in previous studies, we've been exposed to these three words, Nakela, Yarash, and Kalek. In the last video on Exodus, this word didn't occur. Kalek didn't occur, but Yarash and Nakela occurred. Well, in this video, Nekala is not going to occur, but the verb form Nakal is going to occur, and Yarash will occur as well. And we're going to introduce some other words as we go. Okay, these are the two words that do occur in our text that we did see from Exodus. Bain over here for son, and Bekor for firstborn. So dealing with Bain first, we see the range of meaning that we have here. You see how often it occurs. It dominates in Numbers and in First Chronicles, and we'll explore that when we get there, why that is so. But Leviticus is right here, so we got a few occurrences. You see it right here, blown up. All right, so I just picked one verse to represent this. There's tons of them throughout. But speak to the sons of Israel and say to them. And so he's basically giving them instructions about offerings. Okay, this is a new word that we encounter in Leviticus, at least in the sense of in our discussion. It may occur before Leviticus, but I just focused on Leviticus to limit, our content to this particular book. So I think this is the silent Shavah, which means that this is Azkara. And what you'll see here, that this word means memorial portion, which makes sense because you can see the root or related to it is the word zakar, which means to remember. And so you can see that going on there. And so this word is translated as memorial portion in several places. Leviticus 2:2 is representative of that. There's a few other places where it's mentioned. Okay, here it is in the Hebrew. There's other occurrences in Leviticus 5, all say memorial portion. In Leviticus 6:8 is translated as memorial offering. In Leviticus 14:34, we encounter the word for possession. Okay, and if you do a search, an exact search on Bible.org, like I showed you in those other videos, 6 results will show up for that word or the concept. And this is the new Hebrew word that we're interacting with concerning the possession word. So we got this be akuza, I think that's how you would say it. And you see a couple places in the book of Genesis where it shows up when it makes a reference to the land of Canaan being an everlasting possession. But in Leviticus, here we have in 14:34, and I will give for you a possession. And then you also have the land for your possession. It's also translated as property. And so these are just some examples throughout the book of Leviticus where it's describing issues concerning, justice and all that. It says, you should not oppress your neighbor nor rob him. The wages of a hired man are not to remain with you all night until the morning. And you could see some New Testament stuff or stuff that Jesus said that kind of relates to this. But this is overall dealing with the issue of property. Okay, Leviticus 20:24, hence I've said to you, you are to possess their land, and I myself will give it to you to possess it, as a land flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God who has separated you from the peoples. This word possess we've already encountered in other videos, and we'll do so again here. This is Yarash, okay? And you can see it being used right here in the form. Now this shows up as only occurring in Leviticus 25:46, but I did find other uses of it, in particular, our passage is 2024. So I don't know if there's a text or variant in this particular Hebrew text or what's going on there, but that's something for you all to research. All right, so here's your rash with its range of meaning. Here's those range of meanings organized like this. Here's where the word occurs. We're in Leviticus right here, but you see that it's all over the place in Deuteronomy. And then Joshua next to that. Okay, so the word to possess, yarash, how it's being used to have ownership or possession of something, including future endowments by claim or right, and it gives examples of that word where God is talking to Abraham and all of that. And so there's 2024 and here's 25:46, so it shows up there. But so we only have 2 references to this word in Leviticus. Okay, now we got our word for property showing up again. More stuff on property in the year Jubilee. Redemption for the land, so part of this property, just showing the idea of private ownership here. Basically is what's going on here, how the word is being used. As for the cities of Levites, the Levites have a permanent right of redemption for the house of cities which are their possession. We may go back and study the right stuff in another video. The right stuff. That sounds like a New Kids on the Block song. Anyway, you have the possession word showing up again. You have acquisition is translated that way, possession. Now, right here, I believe this is where nakal or yarash is being used. I put the information in here, so we'll see. Yeah, it's nakal. So this is the verb form of nekhala that we were using earlier, coming off that same triconsonantal root or whatever. So here's the range of meaning that it can refer to. And this is where it occurs, 25:46. More stuff on property. This video is going to be more brief than the others, just because Leviticus is focusing on worship and not so much about inheritance. And when it talks about property, it's mainly focusing on the legislation for how they conduct themselves at that present time concerning property, how to treat your brother, that type of stuff. But in Numbers, we're going to start seeing, I think, a clustering of these various words. And that's the reason I did this video this way, or this series this way, is I had to build myself up to Numbers. But I'll explain that when I get there. Okay, so here's our word firstborn, Bekor. There's the word for property again. I should have a discussion of Bekor in here. Maybe I've already gone through it. Looks like I got a couple redundant slides, PowerPoints. Yeah, just stuff about the property, possession. Here's the one I was talking about. It should have the slide with it. Yeah, so Bekor, it's being used right here. You see that it dominates in Numbers and in First Chronicles. And so we'll go into more detail with that. And you can see it blown up here. We're in Leviticus, and in comparison, there's Numbers. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, this one was going to be brief because I'm just tracing the words and all that. But still, if you've been blessed by this video, if it causes you to study these things out for yourself, then hit the bell for notifications. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up, like it, share it with others. But most of all, please keep this ministry in prayer. God bless.